Hi guys, welcome to my webinar. My name is Frederick. I'm a career coach specialized in job search. And today I'm going to share with you a lot of valuable tips to help you on your job search. Your time is very valuable, and I promise that when you walk away from this webinar, you are going to have a lot of immediate actionable tips to implement and to start your job search. So stay tuned. Until the end of the webinar, you will also have an exclusive promo that you can apply immediately on my website at the end of this session. You won't regret it. So I've been working in the recruitment and talent acquisition industry for more than 15 years. And, I've been struggling in my job search like a lot of us. Before COVID, during and after COVID, the whole employment market has gone through many changes. And I remember when I started to look for a job after my graduation, my dream was to enter at Google. And I just sent my CV like people do. And I got a lot of rejections, emails. I was really depressed, but I was not ready to give up. So I was looking at the job descriptions, trying to understand really what are the keywords that could make a difference. But then I realized that the keywords in the CV are not the only way to make a difference. I realized that if I found a way to showcase my value, my expertise to them, apart from the CV, but with another way, I could potentially stand out from the other candidates. So I decided to record a video about myself, talking about my passion. Back then, my passion was FC Barcelona. And I did a small analysis based on people sharing the same passion. What are the keywords that they are using to search for information online? And I packaged that into a small survey that I sent to a lot of hiring managers at Google. And eventually, after 1 week, I received the good news to invite me for interviews, on-site interviews. And they also paid for the flights, the accommodation in a hotel nearby the headquarters. I even spent the whole evening with them. It was amazing. Eventually, they decided to go ahead with another candidate. But this experience, sharing my value, my expertise with another way than just sending a CV for a job, was a breakthrough for me. And 15 years until today, I spend my time redefining this strategy, all the steps. I analyzed a lot of data. I did a lot of customers and candidate survey to make sure that I was getting enough valuable information to design this job search system for you guys today. And this is what I'm going to share with you. So my mission today is really to equip every job seekers and professionals with the skills and mindset, but also the strategies necessary not to just secure the right job, but to thrive within your chosen careers. The job search struggle is real. Today, we are facing the same challenges within the current employment market. So, there are more and more competition. The platform where you apply for a job, they require more and more information. Sometimes you have to spend like 40 minutes just to apply for one job in one website, and then you click on upload and you have an issue. The information is not recorded correctly. It's very frustrating. On top of that, companies are looking for a unicorn. They're looking for people who can do everything. And you also have the barriers of the work visas. If you are a foreigner and you live in a country that has restrictions in terms of work visas, it's very difficult to get these opportunities. But also the fact that you don't show your value, your expertise, can automatically create barriers for you to get the dream job. For example, did you know that every time a job is posted online, a company receives in average between 200 and 300 applications? I mean, think about it. It's crazy. How can you make a difference among 200 to 300 CV? This hiring manager will receive like hundreds of emails, and your CV will just at the bottom of the pile. So how can you make a difference there? This is what I'm going to show you today with my job search system. So how can you go from 2% to 40%? And maybe you are wondering, where does this percentage come from? Every time a job posted online, companies are receiving between 200 to 300 CV, and the recruiters or the HR are only going to select the first 20, 30, 40 CVs maximum. Out of them, only 2%, maybe sometimes 3% of people will be selected for a job interview. So it's very low. It will depend on the timing, your job title, your seniority level, the professionalism of the person who is going to review your CV. You have to do something about it. But somehow, 90% of the job seeker today spend 90% of their time looking for a job, sending applications online for up to 3% maximum of chances to be selected for an interview. It's crazy, right? So why spend so much time applying for a job when your chances to be selected for an interview is so low? The key here is really to show your value and your expertise. And how to do that? Well, Sean was my previous client. We finished the coaching session last week. And before approaching me, he tried by himself using a lot of content that he found online. So he went on YouTube videos, he listened a lot of podcasts on Spotify, he read a lot of articles where, there's a bunch of content you can use out there. But he realized something was missing. He needed the extra push. He needed the expertise of someone to really help him to get this breakthrough he was waiting for. So after 3 weeks of coaching sessions, he managed to get 4 job interviews. And out of these 4 job interviews, he managed to get a great job offer with a fantastic salary raise of 55% compared to his previous salary. That was really amazing. Sarah, another great example here. She was introduced to me by a common friend. At the beginning, she was very hesitating. She didn't know if that was the right time, if I was the right coach for her. She was really unsure. So we had a couple of discussions, and I highlighted to her that the reason why she was stuck in her career growth is because she was doubting about herself to grow into a higher position, a leadership position, managerial position. So today, this job search system that I'm teaching to my client, it took me 15 years for me to really get it well-defined, redesigned. I discussed with a lot of experts. I talked to a lot of job seekers, professionals. I had a lot of surveys, a lot of data to really rely on tangible information where I could build and design this robust job search strategy for you guys. And I'm going to share with you what are the critical 6 steps to help you increase your interview ratio and chances to be shortlisted for an interview. So step number 1, the clarity on your career. So here I'm going to talk about assessment. You need to know exactly what you want to do and where you want to go. Step number 2 is going to be your targeted job applications. You can't just send your CV to every job online, and every time you look for a job and you can see that it's kind of related to your job title, you can't just send your CV like that blindly, and I'm going to tell you why. Step number 3, you are going to need to redesign your job search material. And here I'm not just talking about your CV or your LinkedIn profile. Step number 4, I'm going to show you how to turn a cold connection into a warm referral. Step number 5, I'm going to show you how to ace a job interview, all the do and don'ts, the preparations, etc. And the last step is really to negotiate a killer job offer once you reach this offer stage. So step number 1, I just mentioned, it was the career clarity. So here I'm going to start the discussions by asking you a lot of questions. And mainly there will be 3 assessments that you will have to perform by yourself to generate the reports, and we're going to talk about it. So the first assessment will be to analyze your strengths. I think everybody knows what are the strengths, but not to a very deep level where you know that your strengths can sometimes be your ally, but they can also playing against you. We're also going to talk about your goal settings, because a lot of people today are working in companies, but they don't really know why they are working. They don't really know what is the direction of their career. And that's very important that we highlight that together. And finally, we're going to talk about your values. What do you like? What is very important for your life and for your professional life? Do you value more staying at home, or the career growth, or a remote work setup? If, for example, you've been working in a very toxic work environment before, I want to listen to that story. Take that as a lesson. And we're going to identify what are the work environments that are suitable for you or not. The second step of my job search system is the targeted job application. So here, it's very important that you align your values to your job search. You need to understand where you want to go, what kind of role you want to do. And if you're applying for a role in a company that you know the reputation is very bad, don't apply for this job, because you know already that a lot of people feel miserable working there. So why would it be different for you? If you value family time, then I will not recommend you to apply for roles in startups or consultancy companies or agency work environment, because they are going to require a lot of time for you to work there. And it's not going to be compatible with your family time. Then another example, if you value high flexibility, speed, and a lot of room for new ideas at work, then better not apply for roles in multinational companies or legal, finance, banking environments where it's a very structured, big organization, a lot of layers, frameworks everywhere, and it's very difficult to open any room for negotiation or new ideas. Step number 3, redesign your job search material. Here, we are going to rework your CV. You might think your CV is the best because you have asked your friends or your family to read your CV, and they gave you a lot of inputs. You probably have one, but you should have 2 or 3 different versions of your CV. 90% will be the same. Only 10% you're going to tweak. So let me show you an example. Let's say you have been working in the customer experience for a long time, but the job title is called customer service. Customer service, customer support, customer experience, they are very similar terms. You can decide to call yourself the same title that you are applying for the role. It's very simple, but it's so effective. You might be asking, should my CV be 1 or 2, 3 pages or more? If it's 1 page, unfortunately, I think that you are missing an opportunity to really showcase your achievements and your past responsibilities. 2, 3 pages, I think, is great. More than that is going to be too long. And the myth that the recruiter only spends less than 10 seconds per CV is real. After 3 pages, we don't really go through the end of your CV. So keep your CV condensed and highlight your achievements. Is very important. That would be my best advice. Always quantify your achievements. Mention everything you have done, the results, and what was your contribution for a specific project. It's very important. This is how you're going to stand out from the other candidates who are only going to list down bullet points their past or current responsibilities. But sometimes to the eye of a recruiter like myself, it doesn't say much about the capacity of delivering quality work for a company. Then for your job search materials, what I will also recommend is to have a very strong cover letter. Today, cover letters are highly neglected by the job seekers. Job seekers and professionals think that just the CV is good enough to apply for a job. But actually, this is an opportunity for you, because since there are not many people using this cover letter, we are going to work on a very precise and valuable cover letter that's going to highlight your expertise and your value. And we are going to use free tools like ChatGPT and Gemini to help us tailor a very strong and specific cover letter. So by doing this, you are going to stay ahead of the competition, and that's going to add an excellent boost for your job application. For your job search material, having a strong LinkedIn profile is always recommended. Having a picture, a banner, a tagline, a good, catchy, and short summary where you highlight your story is critical for your LinkedIn profile. And then your experience, your skills, recommendations, super important as well. To increase your network and your connections, know that you have access to 100 connections that you can connect with on LinkedIn on a weekly basis. Use that, connect with as many decision makers in the company you are targeting. You would be surprised to know that the first thing that people look on LinkedIn are actually the profile pictures. And why? Because the human eye is attracted to another human eye. So if you don't have a captivating picture on your LinkedIn profile, you're missing a great opportunity. As a recruiter, what I like when I receive job applications are portfolios, blogs, or even mini websites. A lot of candidates, especially on the creative design side, or even the software engineers, have their own portfolio of their expertise. They can showcase what are the problems they solve, or they can showcase their projects they've been working on. This is an excellent platform for me to really see their skills. What I like to receive on top of the CV is the extra work that job applicants are passionate about. Shani is a creative director in a video game company. So for him, it was very straightforward. He created a slide, he created a presentation with multiple slides, and he highlighted his contribution and his achievements. So another example is with James. James is specialized in finance. He's been working for 10 years in Southeast Asia. And when he approached me for the coaching sessions, he was asking me, Fred, how can I build a portfolio or a presentation or a small website to highlight my expertise and to highlight my value to the next company I want to apply for a job? And when he approached me, his dream was to work at Netflix Asia in Singapore. So together we brainstormed to find the best idea that he could come up with. He decided to create a market survey on all the potential new revenue streams for Netflix. He packaged that into an Excel spreadsheet. Another example is Rebecca. She has been a content writer for the past 20 years. So when she applied for a communication manager role, she stood out by sending her blogs and articles that shows her quality of writing. Part number 4. Now, how can you turn cold connections within your network into potential warm referrals? So here the idea is to try to convince someone from the inside of your dream company to represent you and to talk to you and to talk to the main decision maker on your behalf. So here I'm going to share with you my tier system definition. So usually when you're looking for your dream companies, your 10 top choice company are going to be the tier 1. Then you can probably categorize the next 10 to 15 companies as the tier 2, meaning that these are very interesting companies, but you are not going to die for them. And then you have all the other companies, the tier 3. We are going to call them the safety net. Like I mentioned earlier in my introduction, 90% of the job seekers spend 90% of their time just sending their applications online for a mere 2% of chances to be selected for job interviews. So usually when you are targeting the companies in the tier 3, then I agree. You can just send your CV and you wait for the feedback. But if you are targeting the companies that are in the tier 2, then you should do the extra effort, add something else on top of your CV, like a strong cover letter. You should probably add more elements on your LinkedIn as well, because you know that these people are going to look at your profile on your social media, on your social platforms. You should probably also try to reach out to these people on LinkedIn as well and tell them that you have applied for the job. It will probably help a little bit here. For the companies in the tier 2, you should not spend more than 50% of your time. I would recommend maybe 30 or 40%. But where I really recommend you to spend most of your time, and this is the work that we're going to do together, is to create and to package your value into a way to distinguish yourself. It could be a portfolio, a spreadsheet, a blog, a presentation, anything you want, but you have to showcase your value. I recommend to spend most of your time on the tier 1 company, the company that you really want to target, the company you see your future in there. And here you have to distinguish yourself. You have to show your value. You have to show your expertise. Sending just your CV is simply not good enough. Approach the decision makers who are working in these companies. They are going to be the one turned into potential referrers. They're going to push your application forward. Trigger a first discussion to find out more about you. Step number 5, how to ace your job interview. So here I like to quote Benjamin Franklin, failing to prepare is preparing to fail. And this is so true. You have a huge amount of preparations to make before every interview. You need to know everything about the hiring company, who they are, what are their values, what is the mission of the company, what are the products, what are the challenges that they are facing. And all of these informations are available online. It's just a matter of time, effort, and energy you're going to spend to prepare for the job interview. Analyze everything mentioned on the job responsibility and the requirements. Small tips for you. The first bullet point on each of these categories, which are the responsibility and the skills, are what is the top priority for the company. They will always use what is highly important at the top of the first bullet points. And then prepare questions. Always have 2, 3, 4 questions to asking at the end of the interview, because they are going to ask you, do you have any questions for us? If you say that you have no questions at the end of the interview, you have no chances to proceed further in the interview process. It's a turnoff for a lot of recruiters. It shows a lack of preparation and a lack of interest. With my coaching sessions, I will provide mock-up interview sessions where we're going to have questions and answer. I'm going to show you the do, the don'ts, anything you need to do to prepare before, during, and after a job interview. And finally, number 6, how to negotiate a killer job offer. So my rule of thumb, never accept the first offer straight away. Ask the company a couple of days to think about it. If there are room for negotiation, and if yes, ask them where. It could be on the base salary, on the variable, or on the overall package. But if the company is saying no, it probably means that they don't value your expertise for the role. It probably means that they want to shortchange you, having you as a great talent for them, but paying you at a lower price. So here I would recommend you to be ready to walk away and don't let your emotions driving that negotiation. So everybody has different situations, but as hard as it can be, sometimes you have to make that call. Okay, guys, we are reaching the end of the webinar. It was great. I hope you learned valuable insights to apply to your job search. As promised, I would like to give you an exclusive offer to be applied on the online course or the coaching session. It's very easy. That's it. I'm super happy for this session today. If you want to contact me directly, don't hesitate to have my email or reach out to me on my LinkedIn. And that's all. I hope you enjoyed this webinar. All the best.